Hey everyone, it's Skyee here, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we're going to be starting our April color along. This is going to be part 1, and we are going to be working in Hanna Karlzon's Daydreams. So a while back I asked you guys what you would like to see for color alongs, mainly what kind of artists, what books specifically, and you guys gave me a lot of feedback, and I tried to incorporate all of it when planning out color alongs for the year. I figured April would be a fun month to do a Hanna Karlzon color along, so we are going to dive on into that. So this is the page that I chose. I hope you guys are excited about this page because I really am. And as you can see, I kind of have some colors kind of pulled here. This is a rough kind of color palette for what I want to do with this page. I definitely want to do like deeper colors than this, but I want to keep them fairly natural. I'm thinking like a deep kind of brown for these leaves and then like little blue flowers, and then keep the wasp kind of maybe neutral, more like these colors maybe, and have the wreath around him brighter. I'm not too sure exactly where I'm going to go with this. I can kind of see it in my head, but not well enough to like feel confident about it or to really know where to start, if that makes sense. So I kind of like have like a rough estimate on what I want to do and no idea how to go about it. So it will be interesting. I do want to do kind of like a kind of whimsical background, and what I'm thinking of, I did it for one of my magical jungle pages. So I kind of want to do a similar background, kind of like we did with the toucans, just a little bit like looser in the sense where like the background kind of stays relatively the same around this whole kind of frame, I guess. And I want to do something a little bit different here where it kind of like disappears and fades and like it's wider. It's not just all the same. So that's the plan there. And we're going to be using the Prismacolor Permiers. So I've got my pencils here. I think I've got everything that we need. I already have some colors picked out. I think we're going to start on these leaves here because they're the ones that I know for sure what color I want to do, and we're kind of going to work from that. All right, so I'm just going to put a piece of paper in behind my page here. I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to zoom in a little bit here and we are going to get going. So I've kind of chosen out some colors here. I'm hoping they work for the color I kind of want to achieve here. We'll see. So let's just start with these leaves here. I do want to make this page like very limited. I definitely don't want to have a whole bunch of colors on this page. I don't know if it's because that's just kind of what I envision, or if I think it'll be too busy if I add too many colors. I'm not quite sure. It's just when I see this page, I see it in like blues and browns and beiges. And I don't know if it's because I've seen this page before like that, or what page I've seen that kind of inspired that. I've tried to go back and like look for the page that kind of sparked this because I know there must be one, but it's hard to say. I might have just seen like a random page while scrolling and it stuck with me and I'll probably never see it again. So that's kind of why I have this image stuck in my head and I'm not really sure how to go about it because it's not very clear, unfortunately. So we're just going to work our way from lightest to darkest, back to lightest. We're going to do a fair bit of layering on this page. I haven't worked in Hanna Karlzon's books for quite a while, so I can't exactly remember how good the paper is. So we're just going to start really slow, really light pressure, and we're going to build up those layers and hope for the best. I know I struggled doing like hair in her books. Why, I'm not too sure. But I think everything else was okay. So as long as we kind of go slow and just work at it slowly, it should be okay. Kind of trying to envision how I want these leaves to look. I think we're going to color this full part in with the light umber. We're not burnishing anything at all yet. But yeah, I think I'm going to do the veins of the leaves, well, the main vein anyways of the leaves with the light umber for now. Okay, let's go in with our dark umber now. So this is going to be our darkest color. I think I'm going to add like a little bit of the dark umber at the tops and bottoms of the vein on here, and then just kind of fade it out. And then I definitely want it darker beside that on both sides of the leaves, or on both sides of it. It's one leaf. I'm gonna sharpen my pencil because I want a really sharp pencil while I'm working on this. I do want these leaves to be fairly dark, so I do think that I'm going to bring the dark umber out quite a ways. Just going to lightly fade over this to make it a little bit darker too. It's still going to be lighter than the kind of outlining areas, but I want it to stand out, so I do want it to be a little bit lighter, but still dark. And then we're going to do the same thing for all these other leaves. We can kind of make it darker, kind of coming out from whatever is in front of it. It does look really pretty. I know this might bother you guys, but I'm just going to turn my book here. It's a little bit easier to work on these when they're vertical, when they're not horizontal. So otherwise I have to twist my wrist in awkward positions, and I just can't do that. My wrist has been flaring up a little bit, probably because I've actually been coloring. I've, like always, put filming the color along off for quite a while, and of course we got a train. Apologies for that. Not because I don't want to record it, things kept popping up. I've actually been really excited to record this. I wanted to have it recorded last week, so I'm only about a week behind where I wanted to be, so yeah, not too bad. Could be worse. Let's go through and just build up this color. I want it really dark and then fading out. Can we see all three of these? There we go. It's a little slow going right now while I figure out how I want to tackle these. But once we know what we're doing, it'll be a little bit better. This fade here just looks a little too sudden, so I'm just going to work on that a little bit. It's a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay, let's go in with our light umber. I'm going to bring this out from the dark umber. I'm just going to try and fade it out a little bit at the ends. I'm still going over the ends with the light umber, but we're going to burnish it with the ginger root. Can completely burnish these larger veins with the light umber. All right, and then with the ginger root, we're not going to bring this in too far because we don't want to lighten up the shadows. So I'm just going to pop this in on the ends and just fade it in towards the center. I think adding in like some very earthy muted greens too might be good, like for these right here. I don't know about the berries yet. Those will probably be blue. Okay, I like where this is going so far. And what can we see on here? Okay, so we'll work on the rest of them minus the bottom 3. So just same order, we're gonna lightly layer with the cream first. And then in with the ginger root, we're just gonna lightly plop this in here, starting off where it's going to be darker and then fading out where it's gonna be lighter. And we'll just do the same thing with the light umber. Okay, I've got a cat at the door, just one moment. Hi there. What you doing? You can't come up, so don't even think about it. Okay. You go lay down. No, baby, I'm sorry. She never wants to hang out with me when I'm not busy. It's always when I'm doing something. No, lady. You're not coming up here. Apologies if the camera shakes a little bit. She's jumping on the shelf. All right, and then back in with the dark umber. So just lightly building up this color. Again, I think we want these leaves to be pretty dark, so I am going to extend this color out quite a ways. Super pretty. I'm actually really excited to see how this page comes together. I hope it at least turns out somewhat similar to what I have pictured in my head. So I think it's going to be beautiful. And then if I ever want to color the rooster on the other page, I'd probably use the same color scheme as well. So they would kind of match. It'd work as kind of a double page spread. All right, once we're happy with how dark our shadows are, we can go back through our lighter colors. So going back in with the light umber. And again, same thing. We're bringing the light umber out all the way to the ends, but we're just lightly adding a little bit of that color. It's not burnished. I think this little one here, I'm just going to fully burnish this with the dark umber. I'm going to keep this one a little bit darker so that this one in the front stands out a little bit more. All right, and then in with the ginger root, and again, we're just adding these on the edges and fading them in, trying not to go too much over the dark umber. Still just kind of go over the edges of this one. I don't think it'll make a difference, but just to keep it the same. Oh, these leaves are gorgeous. Okay, the last 3 of these leaves down here. I'm just gonna tilt my book a little bit so that way hopefully it's at a better angle for me to color these. And we're just gonna go through the motions one more time. So I'm curious to what you guys would call this creature. I mean, I initially thought it was a wasp, but when I searched for it, there was not very many pages that came up under wasp. I mean, there's a few of this page that came up using the tag wasp, but fly brought up a lot more results, but it's got a stinger, so I don't think it's a fly. I think it's a wasp. I don't know. Not the one I wanted. This one. All right, light umber next. right, in with the dark umber. Trying to kind of decide on colors as we go. There's several things that I'm just not sure. I was thinking, like I said, for like these little bits, I was thinking like an earthy green, but at the same time, maybe like a beige color for those would be better. And then we have those other style of leaves at the top. Maybe those would be better suited for green. I just don't know. Like very intimidated by pages like this because if I have a clear vision of it in my head, or even an unclear, if I have any sort of vision of it in my head, it just feels like there's a lot more pressure, and then it just feels a little bit more overwhelming than it should. So this month, the clocks went forward an hour. Well, this month for me, it's still March for me. It'll be April for you guys when you're watching this, unless you're a channel member, and then it will technically be the end of March, hopefully, if I get this up in time. Anyways, so that gives me an extra hour of daylight, plus the sun is hanging out a little bit longer, so that is going to make finding time to record quite a bit easier. I do struggle a bit in the winter because I don't like to use my light. I will if I absolutely have to, but I like to use the sunlight, and that gives me a very limited amount of time, which is really unfortunate. But I'm glad that the sun is cooperating a little bit better now. Just gonna add kind of a shadow around this flower petal here. fade that out. Okay, I think I'm happy with how that's looking. So moving in with the light umber, I think I'm gonna give this a quick sharpen. It's not too bad, but a little bit sharper would be nice. All right, in with our ginger roots. I've still not made up my mind, so I was hoping by now I'd have come to a decision. But I just don't know. Well, there's a good start. Still have about 40 minutes. I don't really know. Give me a sec here. All right, I think I made a decision. I think if we do these kind of like bigger leaves brown, I think it's just going to be too much brown. So I think we're going to do these little tenderly fern thingies as like a light kind of beige color. So I want to try not blending so much, or not layering so much, I should say, and see how that goes. Again, just because I'm not used to the paper in these books, it's been a long time since I colored in one of Hanna Karlzon's books, so we're going to try, just on one of these, we're going to try on this one here. We're just going to come in straight in with the dark umber. So I'm going to use a fairly firm pressure and then just fade out. I just want a little bit of darkness on the inside of these. So for these, we're going to do dark umber, just a little bit of light umber. We don't need too much. This is more going to be like a transition color. And we're just doing the same thing, medium pressure. And then fade out. Just say like medium firm pressure. I'm using enough pressure that I shouldn't have to go back and burnish this is my hopes. Okay, now we're gonna go in with a little bit of beige sienna. Not much of this one either. We're gonna fade it out to save room for our lightest color. Okay, and our lightest color for this is going to be the putty beige. Just gonna give mine a quick sharpen here. Okay, I really like this color combination here. That is really pretty. Okay, and I think that actually blended a lot better than layering it up. Whereas even though I don't feel like I did very many layers on this paper, I've already got like a wax bloom and I didn't press very hard either. So I don't think this paper likes layers. And I think that was my problem with hair too, because I do a lot of layers when I do hair. And I don't know if it was, no, I think it was Summer Nights. I did like a lady in the back and her hair just looked so flat and I was just put off from these books for a little bit. Okay, just see where we are on the screen here. So we're just going to follow those same steps for the rest of these little bits. I think this little one right here is one of those. Okay, that looks good. So pretty. Might be a little biased, but I think it's really pretty so far. All right, time for our beige sienna. So we're gonna leave the tips of these wherever we can. Like for these two, I imagine the tips of these kind of go in behind the petal, so I just kind of colored those in fully. I'm not gonna worry about adding any other colors to those. But anywhere where you can kind of see the tips of these, we want to try and leave some white at the end. All right, and then putty beige to finish them all off. I know we don't have much for color in here, but I feel like this is really promising. Can we see that? I think we can. Okay, yeah, it's a safe place to put the swatches so you guys can see. I'm gonna put my phone on silent. This end looks a little bit too perfect to be the petals, so I think this is part of this. What did I call these before? Ferns, I guess. It's the word that comes to mind. Don't know if that's correct, but that's what I'm gonna use. Because the alternative is plant thingy, which is a little bit too, you know, all-encompassing. It's not specific enough. Could mean anything. Apologies if you guys heard that. I think we've got almost all of them. These two, there's two left, I think, that are in frame. I think one of the color alongs I'm most looking forward to is a Rita Berman one. I love Rita's books. I love her style. I love everything about them. I think she is probably actually my second favorite artist. We're pretty close up there anyways. I don't color enough in her books though, because even though they are absolutely gorgeous, they are very intimidating to me because they're already so pretty. I want to make them even prettier, and I feel very overwhelmed with them. So I can't remember what month that's going to be, or what the page was that I chose, if I chose one. I know there's a few months where there's going to be votes for my channel members. So I believe it's Cloud and Up that get to vote on a certain amount of channel aspects, I suppose, throughout the year. And that was another reason why I wanted to go through and kind of plan out color alongs. That way I can figure out what months I'm picking for, what months I want to have them vote for, to make sure that I have enough voting months to make up the requirements for their perks. And actually it made me feel a lot better too, having a plan. Takes like a little bit of the stress off at least. I'm also really excited to do a color along from Hannah's new book. Hannah Lynn, obviously. Very, very excited. I haven't colored in it yet, so the color along we do at this point will probably be one of my first pages in it. What I'm working on right now is kind of going through my whips. I've gotten a few of them done. I still have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5 left maybe. I have 5 books out. Whether I have like 2 in one book, I don't know. So there might be more than 5, but 5 at least. I've gotten a few done. I will feel a lot better once I get my whips done and my books back on my shelf. So that's kind of what I've been working on for now. In between a few other projects I have going for the channel, but those are kind of like more, almost kind of like long-term projects in a sense. And we do still have the giveaway. I'm just waiting for my taxes to be dealt with so I can see how much we can put towards it. It's probably not going to be as big of a giveaway as I was hoping for, but it'll be something for you guys. I really love the composition of this page. It's also nice not having like a whole entire background to color in. You could just like, I feel like you could just color this page and leave it and it would be just beautiful. Doesn't necessarily need a background. We're still doing one, but doesn't need one, which is nice. I'm a little nervous about the background because I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm not too worried. If it takes any longer than the video time that I usually give myself, then we'll just have like a 5th extra part in there that I'll throw in somewhere. But I feel like so far we've gotten quite a bit done. I would hope that in the next part we can get the rest of the flowers and foliage done, and then the wasp in part 3 and then background in part 4 is my goal, but we'll see, because that doesn't, I'm not even gonna say it doesn't always, that like never, it never works out. I just like to estimate how long things are gonna take, that way I can prove myself wrong every time. It's just become a thing. I don't know what colors to do these little like pollen bits either. Like, are these different flowers than up there? I think we have like, hold on, I got a cat at the door. Hey, Meeks. Oh, hello. I think we've got 2 different flowers here actually, which I don't like. I think I'm going to color them all in as the same kind of flower. Well, I don't, we'll see. I think I am though. Can I help you? Hey, no. She always has to rub across my camera stand. What are you doing? You go. All right, you gotta go. I love you, but no. She's such a brat. Hopefully I got them all. She kind of distracted me. Ugh, I desperately need a new sharpener. If you guys have any good sharpener recommendations, let me know. Links would be great. Oh man. Okay, this sharpener is just not good at all. I'm gonna try this big one. Nope, not really. Okay, well, it's pointy, it's just not very sharp. Well, yes and no. Just gonna bring the dark umber back for just a sec because I forgot this one here. When it comes to the actual wasp, I don't know what color to do for it. So I have a feeling I'm right about this too. I'll go around and do this whole wreath, and then I'll be super stressed out about what color to do the wasp. Could it be a moth? No, it can't be a moth. It has to be a wasp. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because the only other thing that would make sense is bumblebee, but I don't think it looks like a bumblebee at all. Unless, I mean, it could be a fly if there are like stingy flies in other parts of the world, I suppose. I don't think we have stingy flies here. We have bitey flies, horse flies. They're awful. Terrible things. They hurt. They take like a big chunk of your skin out when they bite you. And they'll bite you for no reason. They're just jerks. Okay, totally forgot this one here. Going in with the light umber. This little guy's trying to hide from me. And beige sienna. There we go. And we're caught up. I think I messed up on this. I think this was supposed to be the thingy, but oh well. It is what it is. I'm gonna attempt to sharpen my dark umber again and see if it wants to cooperate with me. All right, so these bits here, I want these to be really dark. So we're just gonna go over them with the dark umber. I don't feel like I need to burnish these at all, so I'm just going over with a really sharp pencil to really get that pigment in there. I don't know where we can see up to. Okay, we'll go up into these. So these ones as well, even if it's not stripy, just like all of these like leaf veins, we're gonna go in with the dark umber. These I'm kind of like seeing more as like branches, almost. I usually stay away from doing stuff like this last minute because it's gonna be a pain to color block the thumbnail for this. Because as you guys know, for the thumbnails, I go through and gray out everything that wasn't colored and then do color pops of everything that was colored in that part. So that means I have to go and like bring out the color for like all of these little things. But I feel like I would rather use the 10 minutes now than end up having like a 2-hour fourth part later on. And then having this nice dark solid brown is, I think, really helping with everything else too. So I'm not mad about this. This is good. Okay, that's probably good there. Let's go in with the black a little bit, and we're just going to add a little bit more dimension. I'm just going to pick out some random areas here, mostly where things kind of like meet up or where they're coming out from behind things. We're just going to add a little bit of extra darkness. It's hardly even noticeable, but I don't know, it might make a difference. We're gonna do it anyways, even if it doesn't. I think this might be one of those leaves. I don't know. This has the little dots, which would suggest it's part of the petal. I'm gonna leave that because worst case scenario, we can always quickly grab pencils and do that up later. Or I'll probably just finish the stuff I do know, pause this, and then just quickly find a reference picture to check and see what looks right on what everybody else did. I'm gonna do that quick right now, actually. Okay, it looks like almost everybody else did that as flowers, so we're just gonna leave it. Let me come down here with our dark umber. There's not too much left. Most of our, bless you, most of our branches or vines or whatever you want to call these are at the top. I think that's what I was trying to say. I don't know, Miko sneezed and it was so cute, my brain got distracted. So if the end of that sentence didn't match up with the beginning of that sentence, I apologize. Okay, we'll add a little bit of the black down here as well. There. And I think that's good enough for now. So that is what we are looking at so far. I actually am really obsessed already with how this is looking, so I'm very excited to continue this. So we're definitely gonna have blue flowers. I think all the flowers are gonna be the same. I'm not sure. I'm thinking like a really bright, vibrant blue, and then like a neutral, kind of muted, murky, almost green for these kind of leaves. I don't know about these. I'm thinking since the flowers will be like, they'll have like dark blue accents, but they'll mostly be like really bright and light. I think maybe the berries would be cool to do blue, but we'll probably leave those for last to see what everything else looks like. And then the wasp, no idea. He's like technically the main part of the page and I don't know what I'm doing with it. So that's kind of ironic, isn't it? But yeah, I like the way that this is going so far. I hope you guys do too. I hope you enjoyed part 1 and I really hope I see you guys in part 2. I'm gonna leave it here. As always, take care and I hope to see you next time. All right, guys, bye.